We've got 9 races on the turf at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Friday night, the 26th of September 2025, and a competitive card awaits. 9 races, as I say, on the turf. I'm previewing the show today with good friend and colleague Dees Dynant. We're going to take you through it and tell you what we like and what we don't like. Dees, how are you?
All okay, Warren. Nice to have you back from your short break, and I'm not going to call it the bush after your stories. You really had a wonderful time, so welcome back.
Thank you, Dees. Lovely to be back. Always good to be on holiday, but always good to come home, because home is where the heart is. But all I have to say about where I went is Africa, never mind South Africa. Africa's a beautiful place, Dees.
Yeah, we got the best destinations on our doorstep, Warren, and I agree with you on that, and I trust you, the valued racing fan, as well. Let's get straight into it. We are on the turf. We are at Hollywoodbets Greyville, the theatre of dreams where stars are made. 9 races on the go. Race number 1 is at 15:45. It's a twilight race meeting racing fans, and look sharp with regards to times wherever you want to aim and play when it comes to the exotics. So 14:55 race number 1. As we bring up the field, we'll have a look at some betting at the time of recording. Number 1 is Skipper Zip at 5-1. 2 Belligerent is at 22-10. We got an 18-10 shot here in a first timer. Number 3, Ascalon Dancer. Then we move along to horse number 5, Greatest Hit at 3-1. And number 7, I'll leave that pronunciation to Warren if he wants to give that a bash. That's at 8-1 for Vengi Masawi. And Vengi is having a good run with these horses. He's got 2 first timers here, numbers 5 and 7. I think we'll begin with the horse that represents the form, Warren, in number 2, Belligerent for Gart Puller and Rachel Vinica. Obviously sticks out when it comes to the race runners, but a very well-bred first-timer here from the Garrett van Zyl stable. You pull out the pedigree, you'll see he's a full brother to Miamu, a grade 1 winning sprinter, and that's priced up at 18-10. What are we doing in race number 1? Are we going with the experience, or are we just waiting come race time to get a bit more confidence with number 3?
Dees, on first glance, Belligerent obviously looks the one on form, you know.
Yes.
But in saying that, you know, she's had 4 starts and there have been 4 good starts. So one of these first timers might not have to be too good to make a winning debut. You mentioned Miamu, full brother, and of course you can add 2 Gs. I think 2 Gs is the half brother. Well, Gareth knows that horse 2 Gs very well. He's done well. You're quite right. So let's see closer to race time. You know, he might crunch more on the betting and shorten up, and he could be absolutely anything. Belligerent obviously is the one to beat. 54 kilograms with the allowance from Rachel Vinica. This horse, Kude Maningi Niki. How's that? Kude Maningi Niki.
I'll give you a 9 there.
The pedigree is a bit quiet. Greatest Hit, the stable companion, also quiet pedigree. But let's see how these horses will run. My value in the race is heart to heart. These, I think there's expected improvement. Boardwalk Breeze, Cowdray Park have come out of the form line. He was the 2nd fastest finishing. He gets 1200. He gets the turn. And I just think for value for the back end of quartets, number 8, heart to heart. But this first time is not going to have to be too good to make a winning debut.
Can be competitive is the comment from Garrett van Zyl, and we'll get a bit more information come race time with regards to the first timer, the well-bred son of Versen Gederick's horse number 3. But we are going in blind with a lot of first timers here in race number 1. But the horse that stands out when it comes to the race runners is no doubt the filly. With her sex allowance plus the 1.5 kgs offered Rachel Vinica, it's number 2. Belligerent. It is the start of the bipod. It's race number 2. The bipod will begin at 16:20, 20 past 4, 1400 meters, a maiden pate. Let's bring up the field and have a look at some betting at the time of recording. Number 1, Targaryen Knight, Wendy Whitehead's runner, 7-2. Then we got number 3, Paul Matchett's horse. That's trading at 17-10. Number 6, Bourbon Beast at 6-1, and 7, Eastern Highlights at 4-1. It's double figures, the balance. I'm just going to go 2 runners here, Warren, in the first leg of this bipod, and both of them come from the Wendy Whitehead stable. I'm certainly not discounting the chances of Paul Matchett's runner, who's been very consistent throughout his career. 8 starts forwards at 6 places, and it could be rewarded on Friday But Tigerian Knight, I think, was beaten by a nice sort. I know Town Crier did very little out the maidens, but the race didn't go his way at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. This horse improved nicely last time out, seems to be coming along the right way. Draw 1, 1400 meters, no problem. But I'm not discounting the chances of the stable companion, who's got Samanga SK Blinkumalo up, and last start wasn't the worst. In fact, the last 2 runs make appeal. So 1 and 6 for me, but number 3 will be included, I'm sure, amongst many racing fans.
Dees, yep, I agree with you. Not going to argue much here. I think that Wendy Whitehead holds a very strong hand, as you do. I expected a bit more from Bourbon's Beast last time. He was my firm first choice. Next of kin has come out to help that form line a bit. So, yeah, Wendy Whitehead's 2 horses. As you say, obvious respect for Paul Matchett's horse, place, chance. And then just 2 others to add in for quartets. 7 Eastern Highlands. If he is not in too much need of the run, he could certainly build on that to race fresh and earn a check. And then number 10, That's All Brother, is my value selection. Every time he's come to the races, he's just got a little closer. He was 20 lengths on debut, then 7 lengths, then 5 lengths. The blinkers are having the desired effect. The form line sparked up. So for back end of quartets, value number 10, That's All Brother. But I agree with you. If Wendy Whitehead had to finish first and second, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Okay, number 6 and 10, I must rubber stamp that for trifectas and quartets in race number 2. But we think that Wendy Whitehead could hold the key to the outcome of leg 1 of the bipod, which is race number 2.
Welcome back to the studio, where Dees and I are going to talk about race number 3 on the card, which is the Lucky Fish, Lucky Break Maiden Plate for fillies and mares over 1600 meters, 5 to 5, 16:55 is the off time. And betting, it's quite a competitive race. 4 to 1 Red Lhasa, 7 to 1 She's a Rocket, around 8 to 1 Miss Galore, 25 to 10 Miss Twinkle, that's the favourite, early favourite, 6 to 1 Rejuvenate, and bigger prices bar the others. Dees, I thought it was a competitive race. When you go through it, you could probably make a bit of a case for most of them. Miss Twinkle, let's start with her. She's making her course debut. The last run went 4th to De Vlugge, Curious Girl, and Nkwenkwenzi has come out to win. She does look the obvious one, but I'm nervous that it's not that easy, Dees.
Yeah, this type of race, I think, is a nice quartet trifecta, especially if you're going to try and minimize your spend. But I'm just going to go 2 runners in the place accumulator, Warren, with number 7, Miss Twinkle, as the outright pick. Considering how she's been racing at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, I know she's been given a chance, but you look at her barrier positions, the last 2 starts, it hasn't been the best, 6 out of 14, 10 out of 11. And if she's a bit more handily positioned at Hollywoodbets Greyville, I think she'll go well. The course shouldn't be an issue. You read out the form line of her last start, which has held up nicely. And then Red Lhasa for Com Naidu. I had a nice long shot to Kumaran on Wednesday when we raced at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the poly track. And he said, watch out for my runner on Friday night, number 1, Red Lhasa. He was very happy with that last start, and I think Sadie Porter we'll see later on in the race meeting for MJ Ordendal. She looks above average from what I saw last time out, so she was beaten by a very nice sort last time out. It's a massive draw swing around from the poly track, drawn 10 out of 10, on the turf, drawn 1. So I think numbers 1 and 7 will be good enough for the place accumulator. I'll go as far as to say even for the bipod. Once I start looking past that, I'm just going to give the racing fans some numbers for quartets and trifectas. Numbers 2, 6, 8, 9, and 10. 2, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Include that for 3rd and 4th.
These, not to muddy the waters even more, because as you just mentioned, quartet structure, 3rd and 4th places you want to load up because it's that kind of race.
Yes.
And I just want to add 2 more to add to the puzzle. 11, Peggy Sue Shake, and let me tell you why. She's a beautiful, beautiful filly by Socrat out of a What a Winter mare. She's Dean Kannemeyer, gets Sean Veal, who's retained by them, we all know that, does have an awkward draw. The debut wasn't the worst. I know that form lines might not have sparked up. There's been 6 runners, 0 direct winners. Second start, forget about it. Polytrack, 1200, had a word with the team. She wants further. She gets further today. She was the 3rd fastest finishing last time out. gets the turf. So I'm not prepared to accept that Peggy Sue Shake is as bad as what we're seeing on paper. So I'm going to throw her in for third and fourth at 20-1.
And the colours are flying.
And the colours are flying. So I don't think she can win. I don't think she's a good thing. We're looking for horses to help make the quartets pay. And I think Peggy Sue Shake, if running third or fourth, could do that.
Are we on the same page for the PA 1 and 7?
Yes, very much so. 1 and 7. Miss Twinkle does look the firm first choice. The 1, Red Lhasa, absolutely. And probably I'll take a second perm where I'll throw in Peggy Sue Shake just in case there's a bit of a train smash. And there have been a few train smashes of late.
Okay, that's it, racing fans. Start of the place accumulator sharply at 16:55. Well, it's the big one, the pick 6. It begins at 17:30. What a start to the weekend it will be if you catch this pick 6, because I think it's worth money. 1600 meters, fillies and mares, class 5. We bring up the field. Let's have a look at some betting at the time of recording. Race number 4. Horse number 2, Spring Kiss at 7-2. Number 3, Flying Rainstorm at 7-2. 4 is Last Ginger. That's also trading at 7-2. There is some money. Beautiful Rania. Take note of this, racing fans. Open up 10-1, 8-1, 7-1, now 6-1. One other runner in single figures, and that's number 9, Sally Port at 11-2. Whoa, there's money for beautiful Rania. I'll have to respect that. But again, I'm just going to give my place accumulator numbers here. We're on pick 6. I think this looks a field race. I can't help when it comes to my rule, which is 5 runners. So then it's going to be the field. The 2 runners that I'm looking to survive with in the PA going to be number 4, Last Ginger, for Warwick and Waiho Maui. Has won at the course. And I think those Gauteng form lines will be good enough to see her competitive here. And she has come down slightly in the ratings from a 71 to a 66. And then number 9, Sally Port, who I briefly spoke about in the previous race. On what I saw last time out, Warren, I don't know what's your take. I wanted to see, I wasn't confident at all. I know the betting market had a favorite, but I was not confident at all. I just wanted to see how she comes back as a 3-year-old. And she answered all the questions for me. She looks like a really nice sorter, Warren. And over that 1600 meter trip, she made it look very, very easy.
She certainly did, Dees, and she could have improved a ton back at home, and she could go on and win back to back. But I'm going to sit on the fence with her. I'm going to watch this race. I want to see how she performs. She did take my breath away, as she did yours last time out. Yeah, I'm sure she can run well, but I'd like to make further assessment after I've seen her perform on Friday night. Beautiful Rania. I did think 10-1 was a little generous, so no surprise from my side to see her well back to early stages. She's never far off them. She gets the services of Samanga Khumalo, who's only ridden this filly once, and it was some time ago for a blank, so he'll want to improve on that statistic. Dennis Bosch, Solibana, she's never off them, far off them, this filly. And I think she's going to run an absolute cracker. Last Ginger, yeah, she is my firm first choice. She's been 3 times to this course, She's won here, and she's placed twice, so she knows this course. Lots to like about Last Ginger. So for me, 6, 5 are my 2 numbers. Sorry, 4, 5, my apologies. 4 Last Ginger, 5 Beautiful Rania. And then, yeah, let's watch and see how Sally Port goes. But I think Last Ginger is the one that we'll have to fear the most.
All the best, racing fans. If you are playing the pick 6, you need to get on the tote past 17:30.
Moving along swiftly to talk about race number 5 on the card. It is the www.galloptv.co.za Class 4. It's for fillies and mares over 1600 meters, and it'll run at 6:05 Friday. Twilight racing, how great that is, and we really enjoy the crowds that come to support these race meetings. D's, as the races progress, as we go into the 9th race, towards the 9th race, it does get more and more trickier, but that's what it's all about. This is a good race. I say good race, I know it's only a Class 4, but there's some horses in here that have got some competitive form. Rugger Lover, the last time she was a winner, Sean Veal rode her. Sean Veal rides again. Radu was well supported last time out, ran second to Sparkling Jubilee. Rani Tarabai from the Gareth Van Zyl stable, lightly raced, clearly got tons of ability, thumped Rugger Lover last time. Pour Some Sugar on Me, and we can just keep going. They backed Grand Occasion last time into 17 to 10. She stayed on to finish fourth. Nicholas Patel now rides. Greenhouse was third in the race, won by Sparkling Jubilee, where Radu was second. So we can go on and on. There's quite a few in with chances, and even Princess Palace, she can follow up.
Yeah, small field, but highly competitive at this class 4. 2 runners for me in the place accumulator, Warren. Number 8 is Greenhouse for Matthew and Mike de Kock. I watched her closely at her last 2 starts, waiting for the right time to get her possibly into the number 1 box, and I think it could be on Friday. Having watched her last 2 starts and the way she's finished off her race, I don't think this draw is going to play a factor in the outcome to how she performs, because she enjoys a patient ride. It's a smaller field than she's made at her last 2 starts, so she's not going to be too far behind. So whatever happens, I think she'll be in the firing line, number 8, Greenhouse. And then you mentioned the support that came, the big, heavy support that came for number 9, Grand Occasion last time out. It was a good run behind Princess Palace, and I think she'll have every chance of possibly reversing it this time round. Worth noting that, Sumanga Kumalo partnered her last time out. They've opted to put him on number 7, Rani Tarabai, so we'll see, which could be the better of the 2. But for the PA, I'm going to go 8 and 9. For the jackpot, which is jackpot 1 that begins here in race number 5, I'm just going to include 2 runners as backup. 5, Radu, I agree with you, and 7, Rani Tarabai. So 5, 7, 8, and 9 in numerical order, but my outright choice, my roving banker, is horse number 8.
8, Greenhouse for Dee's Diner from the Mike and Matthew de Kock stable. Yep, she looks ready to get her next career victory, and it could well be on Friday night or tonight, depending when you're watching this show. That's it, a competitive class 4. Those are our numbers. Difficult racing. I'm sure a thrilling finish awaits.
Well, we're on to the 6th race, and what's the time? It's 18:45. The lights are on at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Class 5, 1,800 meters. And this field, at the time of recording, we got 12 runners here. This will be the start of Jackpot 2 racing, fans, so it could be a nice way to end off your evening, finding the winning perm for races 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we'll have a look at some betting here, Warren, and our horses in single figures. Number 5, Global Movement, 4 to 1. 6, Mohandas at 3 to 1. Number 8, Bom Bom at 7 to 1. Then we got 10, Tambi at 5 to 1, and 11, Attaboy is trading at 7 to 1. Yeah, that's been the theme from me throughout this race meeting, Warren. Place accumulator numbers. I'm going to go with 3 runners here in numerical order. 5, Global Movement. 6, Mohandas, and 11, Attaboy. My outright choice is going to be Paul Lafferty's runner, Attaboy. Another horse that's been on my radar. It's just an issue with him now, which has become a problem. It started off as a slight concern, but now it's a problem. Is the way he doesn't get away on terms, which has been very costly for him. I say very costly for him. You just look at his last start. Losing 4 lengths, beaten 1.5 lengths. You go to his runs prior to that, always losing ground. So Muzi Yeni is going to be, aware of the task that he has on his hands with this horse, because he's partnered him before, but not of late. Of late, he's got into this very, very bad habit. If Muzi can somehow, not saying to rush him out of the gates or anything, Warren, we know that the horse is going to jump slow, but not as slow as he's been, where he has to catch up to the second to last horse in the field. He's always going to be last. But if for some reason or the other, he gets away on terms, he jumps with the field, maybe even jumps sharply and gets into the race early, I think if he can find the finish that he has at his last few runs, he's no doubt the right horse in the race. But again, it's the roll of the dice, isn't it? You're taking your chances with a horse that you are hoping, wishing that something can go right. It depends when the starter says go. So I'm going to still stick with him, include him in all bets, 11, Attaboy. But Mohandas, you can make a strong case for him, carrying 54.5 kgs. He's been fancied by the yard at the recent starts. I say this because he's attracted betting support. And then you guys got to share with number 5, Global Movement. And what's clearly noticeable for to me, and I'm sure to all the racing fans, is how fit this horse is. He's having his 3rd run in September, Warren.
He loves his training. He loves his racing. He loves the course and distance. He's been once over the course and distance for a win. He gets weight off this time from Design Low. And I just would like to see him not running wide. You know, he's always wide, Global Movement. It doesn't help that he's always drawn wide.
Not by design, though.
Not by design. I mean, look at his last couple of draws: 8 out of 10, 8 out of 8, 12 out of 12, 9 out of 9. Today he's drawn 5 out of 12. So I would say that's a much better draw. So I'd like to see him, you know, in the race in a comfortable position, and hopefully we'll be able to give Design Low a nice smooth run, because he deserves another win, this horse. He's just so honest. He tries his heart out. He runs on. He's never far off them. But he's by no means a good thing. He's got a merit rating of 65, so that tells a story. But yeah, he's got an outstanding each-way chance. He's pulled up well. He's eaten up. The vets had a once-over with him, and he looks good. So we're going to go again. And Mohandas, yes, having its 4th run now in the province, he looks to be itching to win. Blinkers go on, as they did last time. But he's also rated 55. You talk about Attaboy, absolutely. He just finishes off his races so well, does Attaboy. A long time since his last win, as is the case with many of these runners. But he's got an outstanding chance, Attaboy. The day he jumps smartly, the day he wins probably. Tambi from the Mano Pandrum stable, that came from the clouds last time to finish 4th behind Tea Time Tipple. But we can go on and on, which we're not going to do. But 5 Global Movement, 6 Mohandas, 11 Attaboy. Those are your numbers. Those are the ones that I've marked. We have to structure it. We have to go light in a couple of races. But naturally, I'm hoping that the grey horse gives us another win.
You know, you're a Tambi of mine. Brother, that's what it is. Manu's got this theme about naming his horses. And I can tell you that I say this because our good friend Jermaine Maharaj, who tips for the computer form, he's tipped this one first.
First he does, indeed. From an 81 to a 63, it was a fair run after the rest. So he wouldn't be out of turn in the winner's box. It's competitive, Dees.
Competitive. 1, 10, 11 for horses for trifectas and quartets. I've picked out numbers 1, 10, and 11 for the trifectas and quartets, along with my 3 numbers for the PA. Numbers 5, 6, and 11. 5, 6, and 11 for the PA racing fans. You heard it from Warren. It could be the right time for a horse that he's got a small share in number 5, Global Movement.
Talking now about race number 7 on the card, which is the Tote Speed Power Glory Class 4, over 2,400 meters. 20 past 7 is the off time. At the time of recording, no scratchings or jockey changes, but as we urge you time and time again, please check all that: jockey changes, scratchings, equipment changes, betting moves before taking your final bets, because this is a pre-recorded show. 7th race D's, where the average rating is 76. For me, the 3 that stand out: 3 Santiago's Pride for the Wayho Mowing Stable and Warwick. Thank you, Wayho and Warwick. Still got my brain in holiday mode. Wayho and Warwick's team for Mr. Kokomore, they could have a big night at Hollywoodbets Greyville, because we've already fancied one of their horses earlier on. Santiago's Pride, big runner, excellent post-maiden run. The form of the penultimate start, which was the maiden race, has sparked up nicely. Continental Express is a horse that won cozily last time. He could follow up. Dancing on a Cloud, Place Chance, Corrupt, only got 3 points for the last win. He seems to be fairly talented. Pick 6 Ds, I'm going 3 Santiago's Pride, 4 Continental Express, and 6 Corrupt. I'm playing it a bit light.
I think you're on with 4 Continental Express, just the way he won last time out. I know against a horse like the Mikado, he's worse off at the weights. But the way he won last time out, I mean, that was very, very easy. He'll have every chance to follow up. And this time around, Tristan Godden rides. Craig Zaki will be riding in Kabeja at Fairview. It's a double header once we get into the afternoon. Number 6, Corrupt. Now, the most interesting runner when it comes to pedigree and what's to come, Warren. If you just pull out this horse's pedigree, I mentioned it when he won last time out. The likes of Zeus out of your league, pay back the money. He's got a staying pedigree. And Matthew did allude to it because, whilst I was confident of him winning over 1800 last time out, Matthew mentioned that his slight concern was it was still on the sharp side for the horse. So for him to have won over 1800 meters, knowing that he's going to appreciate 2400 meters plus, I think they're not wasting time with him, Warren. They've given him a short, 2.5 months off. He's going straight into 2400 meters. And over this distance, I'm going to watch the replay of his last start. He was still, running around a bit in the closing stages of the race, still a bit green. How much more to come? I think this race will tell us a bit more. But the one thing I'll assure racing fans out there, that he's going to relish the step up in distance, number 6, Corrupt. So numbers 4, Corrupt. Number 6, 6 Corrupt, number 4 Continental Express, and then 8 the Mikado. Just chatting to Frank during the week about this individual, he does quite fancy the horse's chances. Don't be put off that the horse is carrying 61.5 kgs. Do the math on his last start. You'll see that he is now much better off at the weights with the horse that beat him last time out, which is number 5. Continental Express. So I'm going to go 4, 6, and 8, but I respect your thoughts with the visitor, number 3, Santiago's Pride.
Just to go back to Corrupt, Dees,
Yes.
and apologies if I wasn't paying 100% attention to what you were saying, purely because I wanted to pull up the pedigree, and you've touched on Corrupt. Out of that mare, Little Baccio, produced Pay Back the Money, who was a 3-time winner.
Zeus.
Out of your league, 5-time winner.
Yes.
Zeus, as you've just said, 10-time winner.
Yeah.
Indian Ocean, 5-time winner.
Yeah, Indian Ocean trained by Manu Pandura.
Correct. And Corrupt is already a 2-time winner from only 5 starts.
Crying out for the distance.
So there we go. You could be onto something here. That mare's good. She's produced horses that win races and plenty races. So we could be onto something here. She's rated 81. I'm sure she's going to end up being. He is going to end up being way better than an 81. So
I haven't even mentioned escapologist. That's what I'm saying. It's a process of elimination
correct.
for me.
Structure.
Yeah, it's 9 runners. You need 4 of them if you want to play through, follow a rule that I follow. But otherwise, it's, once you start going wider and you just, there's a form update with King Bavarian. We'll see whether that runs. Ran on Wednesday, ran 6, beaten 5 lengths by the stable companion, 6 hot fix. So just keep an eye on scratchings whether King Bavarian runs 2 days later. I doubt it, Warren. Yeah. I doubt the horse will take his place, but. Yeah, I'm going to go 4, 6, and 8. PA, bipods, pick 6. I respect your thoughts on number 3.
Okay, 4, 6, 8 for these Dianant. My number is 3, 4, 5, 6. But we're looking forward to seeing Corrupt run because he clearly has ability. He's got the pedigree. He goes the distance. So I think safe to say our first choice, Corrupt. We're going to go that way.
Yeah, we're wanting to see the stamina kick in.
Yes.
That's what I want to see. The horse has been off, but when a stable like Matthew and Mike de Kock bring a horse straight back from a break, not shying away from the distance that he's looking for, straight into 20, I think that tells a story.
That tells a story. Well said, absolutely. Well observed and well said. So there we go. One more time. 4, 6, 8 for D's, 3, 4, 5, 6 for me. But we're both looking forward to seeing Corrupt over the distance.
Well, final 2 furlongs, races 8 and 9 when it comes to our race meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville. 1400 meters, it's a middle stakes for fillies and mares. So it's going to be 19:55 when this kicks off, hopefully kicking off on time. There's no delays, etc. to the running of the race meeting. And race number 8 is like so when it comes to the betting. Number 1, Sovereign Grant, 6-1. 3, She's a Machine, 9-2. Number 4, Infinity Edge at 4-1. 5, Celtic Beauty is trading at 8-1. Then we have number 7, Perella at 7-1, and horse number 8, Lucrative at 8-1. One more runner in single figures, and that's number 11, Malcolm's Dream at 11-2. So that's the betting. The betting tells a story. They are betting 4-1 the field. It's a very interesting race because of one reason. These runners from the Mike Miller stable Sovereign Grant, Infinity Edge, Magical View, and then you can add Stuart Ferry's runner, She's a Machine. All ran behind Forward Motion last time out, and there's some big weight turnarounds. The biggest of them all is She's a Machine against a horse like Infinity Edge. Have a look at it, Warren. Last time out, the horse She's a Machine gave Infinity Edge 9 kgs and now receives 1.5 kgs. So that makes it 10.5 kgs better off. I think that just seals the deal between those two runners. Although you go watch the replay and you'll say Infinity Edge was a touch unlucky, the gaps didn't open in time. 10.5 kgs over 1,400 meters. I know which horse I'll be with, and that will be number 3, She's a Machine. That's just one of the obvious weight turnarounds that I picked up from that form line. But the runner that interests me most is Perella. Dennis Bosch, when this horse first arrived in KZN, he did wonders with her. She was in the form of a career, winning race after race, if not winning, running into the money. And then for some reason or the other, she lost her way a bit. I'm going to say it may be because of a high merit rating that she achieved of a 101. And now she's dropped down to a 92. And you can see of late, Warren, of a 92, that she's threatening to win again. And last time out, I was very encouraged by that performance of hers behind One Smart Cookie. So what I'm saying is that for the place accumulator, I'm just going to include 2 runners, numbers 3 and 7. But for the pick 6, I wish the racing fans all the best.
Yeah, good point. I can't add much onto that, Dees. You've made a lovely case for the weights, etc., with She's a Machine and Infinity Edge.
Massive turnaround.
Huge, 10.5 kgs over 1,400 meters, as you say. That should be enough. But back to Perilla. Her penultimate start, she fly jumped, cost herself at the start, and still managed to show eye-catching progress. It was a good run. And last start was excellent. She really ran on well, and 1 or 2 more jumps she gets up. So yes, Perilla is certainly a horse that's back in form. What's that good old saying? That they might lose their form, but they never lose their ability. She's got ability. She's a 7-time winner.
Look at the jockey horse combination.
Yeah, 2 from 2. That's another point. Jockey horse 2 from 2. Perilla, Serena Mudley unbeaten on Perilla. So that's a huge statistic. But as you say, Dees, there are others in with chances. We could go on and on, which we're not going to do. It's difficult. Place accumulator 3-7, 3 She's a Machine, 7 Perilla. Surely should be good enough. And I'm unfortunately going to say exactly what you say. For the pick 6, good luck, because it's that hard.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's a field of 11. Unless you really going to nail your colors to the master racing fans and just choose the horses that you want to minimize your spend with, it does become an expensive exercise to include the field. We understand that. But, sometimes I'd rather take a smaller percentage and be safe.
Absolutely. And Dees, what makes it so wonderful, this beautiful game, is everybody sees it differently. We're saying we find it a bit competitive, field, load up, etc. 2 horses.
For field. F
for field.
F can also be for favourite.
For favourite, F can be also for favourite, and fillies and mares, field and more. But the last point is, you might get a punter that studied this race, and I'm just using a name as an example. They may fancy Infinity Edge. Good thing. Banker. We're saying load up the field. They may be bankering in this race, but that's how everybody plays it differently. Sure. It's hard. But those are the numbers, 3 and 7 for the place accumulator. She's a Machine, Perilla. I'm in Deez's camp. And as for the pick 6, as we both said, good luck. Welcome back for the lucky last. It's race number 9 and going to be contested over 1,400 meters. It's a Class 3, Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 3, 25 past 8. Is the carded off time. Time of recording, no scratchings or jockey changes. Check all that. These, a couple of the races we have said it's difficult, load up, etc. I'm taking a bit of a chance in the last race, which is not what I normally do, because if by some chance we're in our bets going into the last, you want to try and load up. But I like 2 horses. I like 1 queuing, who's very capable, comes in with a lightweight, best draw. Never too far off. He's capable. He's an 8-time winner. Is queuing. So I think he's got a chance, but he's by no means a good thing because it is difficult to gain. But this horse, the Shepherd, is
Yes.
my firm first choice. Purely, I think he's ready for a huge run. He's his third run up after that layoff. His first run back was fresh, was good, third to Rosh Kadesh. His second run, in my opinion, was a typical second run after arrests and type of performance. He had valid excuses. He does have an awkward draw, I understand that. He does get Sean Veal. But also, once upon a time, he ran second 3 lengths to Dave the King and ran second 2 lengths to Gladiatorian. I like the Shepherd, and I like him a lot.
And I can assure racing fans out there, if they are in your camp with number 10, the Shepherd, Peter Muscat assures me that you'll see a different horse come to the races on Friday night. He says, I found what went wrong last time out. I'm going to rectify it. And he was quite confident of a big, bold performance from number 10, the Shepherd. You singled out the form lines that grab your attention when it comes to his profile. And his last start, don't read too much into that, racing fans. You'll see a much better horse at the track on Friday night. Number 10, the Shepherd, I agree, 100%, goes into everything.
And sorry to interrupt you again, the average rating of his last 3 runs were 100, 90, 101.
Much stronger.
88 this time.
Yeah, much stronger.
So,
Much stronger.
yeah, that's me, the Shepherd. Sorry to have interrupted you.
No, that's fine, Warren. And that's why he's carrying 61 kgs, because he drops in class here. So, Warren, 10, I agree with that. I'd just like 2 more horses for the pick 6 and the place accumulator. Again,
Take exactors boxed as well. Talk to us, Deez. Give us the numbers.
We have to include number 8, Rosh Kadesh. I mentioned that our good friend, Mr. Zaki, in riding in Kabeka, and Dean Kannemeyer has engaged the services of Serena Mudley on this horse. A distance specialist. 4 of his 5 career wins have been over 1,400 meters. The track doesn't faze him. He has won at this track and placed twice. His last start behind Imposing, who I will touch on shortly, has held up well. Isi Kwishi has won. Officer in Command has won. And I think his last start, he was never in the race at any stage. For some reason or the other, he showed very little or no interest that day, and he's better than that. So I'm going to include him at around 6-1. And then Imposing. They put the lights out and last time out. I know that the price says 6-1, but that doesn't tell the story how the money poured on this horse come race day, number 6, Imposing, and making a winning debut for Garrett Van Zyl. He's always been a horse that was highly thought of throughout his career, and for him to come back and win in the manner that he did for a new stable, I think that speaks volumes on what could be to come from him. Another distance specialist. 4 of his 5 career wins have been over the distance. So those are the only 2 runners, Warren. I'll agree with you at number 10. The Shepherd, as I mentioned, I think you're spot on with that. And then numbers 6 and 8 are the only 2 runners I'll be including in everything. Number 1, Q-Wing, he's not the most reliable, but that said, he's won 8 times in his career for Garth Puller. How much more he needs to do for Garth and the team? If you ask Garth, he'll say, you know what, he just loves his rating. I love the horse. He doesn't owe me anything. He's got a very low weight on his back, 50.5 kgs. But from draw 1, we'll see how he goes with that low weight. I think that could be a nice horse for quartets and trifectas.
Okay, there we go. That's the 9th and final race. Deez's numbers 10-8-6. I've gone 10-1. So let's join those numbers, and possibly a boxed exactors is what could be the play of the last race, which is numbers 1, Queuing, 8, Rosh Kadesh, 10, the Shepherd, and 6, Imposing. Box up those runners, and you can take it as many times as you like. 1 time, 5 times, 500 times. So those are our numbers, 1, 8, 10, 6 for the last, but I'm hoping that the Shepherd will be guided into the number 1 box.